Cool. So happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to our October adoption event with cdck. My name is Vivian and I'm a volunteer. So before we get started with meeting our wonderful foster dogs, let me give you a background. So City Dogs and City Kitty Rescues is a nonprofit that rescues animals in overcrowded rural shelters. We're based in Washington, D.C. We have no physical shelter, so all of our adoptable animals are in foster homes. So far, we've rescued over 10,000 animals since 2011. We do have social media, so you can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at City Dogs Rescue. And our website is citydogsrescuedc.org. You can donate, see fundraisers, inquire about dogs, find fosters, and just any other information you might want to know. And again, that's citydogsrescuedc.org. So today I'm joined by a couple wonderful fosters and their foster pups looking for their forever home. So to everyone watching live, feel free to ask any questions in the chat and we'll try to get those answered. Thank you everyone for being here and let's get started. So first we have Omar, who is being fostered by Courtney. He is a male, feist, 8 years old and 23 pounds, and he is available at our senior discounted price. So can you tell us about Omar?
Yeah, so Omar, I've had him for about a week now, so he's still fairly new, but he is, as you can see, super sweet, super snuggly. He really loves to just kind of curl up with you on the couch. He loves to get pets. You can see when I stop petting him, he kind of nudges at me for some more. He also has been really, quite frankly, pretty easy. He likes to play with toys. He likes to go for walks, but then after, like 20 minutes or so of playing or after like a decent walk, he's ready to relax and snuggle again. So I think he'd be like a really good fit for someone who, lives a little bit less of an active lifestyle. He doesn't need a ton of like constant stimulation or constant exercise. I live in DC in not a super busy area, but we definitely have like traffic and trucks and stuff. And he's comfortable. He hasn't shown any signs of being fearful or anxious in the city. I live with I have two coonhounds, two big coonhounds. And I would say that they coexist nicely. They kind of ignore each other. So I think he would be fine as an only dog or in a house with other dogs. I have had him around a couple of smaller dogs and he has tried to play with them a little bit. So he might be a little bit more playful if the dogs are smaller. But I think either way, he would be fine. I haven't done a ton of training with him yet because I've just kind of been letting him settle in. But we've worked on, he loves food, absolutely loves food. So he gets very excited if you have treats or if you're going to feed him. So we've been working on stopping him from jumping up when I have food, and he's picking up on it really quickly. He also is excellent in his crate. He sleeps through the night in his crate. When I'm at work, he's crated and he's nice and quiet in there. He goes in there on his own when he wants to take a nap. He was just napping before I got him up to come make his little debut. So he's been it's been really easy to kind of fit him right into the household.
That sounds great. So you've talked a lot about what you're working on with him. How would you say he's been adjusting to your home since having him?
He's been adjusting really well. He's picking up on the routines. The steps were a little bit of a challenge for him at first. We have to go down to the basement to go out to the backyard. So, learning that has taken a little bit of time, but he's really starting to pick up on it. I would say housebreaking is still a work in progress, but he's starting to get it. But it's been really easy to get him into the routine. I'm a trainer, and so I can bring him to work sometimes. I brought him to work last week And he was like so good. When I had clients, he stayed in a room in his crate, nice and quiet. He was great meeting everybody. So it's been really easy to just fit him into the house, into the routine.
That sounds great. Can you tell us any stories about Omar?
I don't know that I have any like really funny stories. It's just been really, really fun to see him like really start to come out of his shell. You know, the first day we got him, you know, I think he was a little bit nervous after transport, and he was really he was a little bit shy, but after like a day or two, now like when we take him on walks, he's like running up to people. Everybody in the neighborhood really loves him. Some of the kids in the neighborhood know, like, oh, look, there's Omar. He's the dog that's looking for a home. So he's, you know, really kind of becoming like a little neighborhood celebrity too.
That's really cute. What do you think? You touched up on this a little bit earlier, but what do you think would be an ideal forever home for him?
Yeah, I think he would fit in nicely with someone, a family who has dogs, or he could be an only dog. I think either way would be fine. I would say probably like moderately active to low active. I don't know how he would do with someone who's like going hiking, you know, several times a month. I haven't seen him, you know, be that active yet. He likes, you know, our walks are probably like 30 minutes or so, and then afterwards like he's chill, he's ready for his nap. So I think he would fit in nicely with moderately active family. I think he probably could be, I live in a row house in DC, I think he could be in a house or an apartment. He seems to be doing okay, at least so far, with like the city sounds and things like that. I have not seen him with cats or like really spend a lot of time with kids yet, so I'm not sure, but I think at least for kids, he'd probably be fine. I haven't really seen him like spook or startle or anything like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Was there anything else you'd want to tell us about Omar?
I don't think so. Just that he's a really adorable, sweet, fun little guy. And if you're looking for a senior dog, I find senior dogs to be sometimes good starter dogs too for people. I think he'd be good maybe for a first time adopter. But yeah, if you're looking for kind of like a easygoing guy, he's definitely your guy.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Courtney, and
All
thank you,
right.
Omar.
All
You can
right.
find
Bye.
you can find more information about Omar at cdck.cc/adoptomar. So next up, we have Ace, who is being fostered by Celeste. He is a male pit bull terrier. He is 9 months old and 45 pounds. So we have met Ace before, but for those of you in the audience who are meeting him for the first time, Celeste, can you tell us about Ace?
Sure. So Ace is still a puppy. He's still got great puppy energy. He's a good dog. He's outside with me right now, but he's housebroken, and he is. We are working on his training. He takes treats, as you can see, pretty nicely. Sits. He knows to sit for his treat, and he knows to take it from my hand nicely. We're working on some other commands just so he has them in his repertoire, and he knows how to answer to certain things and to come and retrieve. And so he's doing really well. Like I said, he's housebroken and loves other dogs, loves my dogs, loves to play with anyone and anything, loves to be outdoors, which is why we're sitting outside today. We thought we'd try something new. And he loves to play outside. He'll entertain himself for long periods of the day, just wandering around in the yard and finding a stick and then finding something else to occupy his time. He really is a self-entertaining. He loves to play with the other dogs, but if they're sleeping because they're older, and he's not, he goes and gets a bone or some other treat, and like a Kong or anything that he can chew on, and he just sits down and quietly does his thing for a while until they wake back up again. He's fairly active. Like I said, he's a puppy, so he has a walk in the morning and then a walk at lunch. And then at night, he's out. I have him out doing, so he can, and he knows to go to the door when it's time for him to go outside. So he knows how to let you know that it's time for him to go out. So I took him to the adoption event this weekend, and he does really well in crowd, even in crowds. Like, for a puppy in that kind of crowd, it can be a bit much, but he does really well and minds his manners. So he's a good dog, good pup.
That sounds great. Can you tell us what makes Ace so special?
So Ace is fun. Like, a lot of dogs are snugglers. A lot of dogs, want to be with you. They want to, I don't know. They're just, I have 3 other dogs here in the house, and he's just fun. Like, he's funny to watch. He'll entertain himself, throw a bone up in the air and chase it around. He'll throw a ball and go chase it himself. He gets himself going so fast that he tries to come around a corner, and he just slides. It's like watching a cartoon character. He just slides all the way across the floor, and it's hysterical to watch. And he just has a good old time doing it. Doesn't get upset. Doesn't matter what happens. He just gets right back up and goes back to having fun. So he's a active dog. I would say he needs someone who's active and wants a companion, and someone who's going to get him out and take him outside and take him on walks. And he really loves being outdoors and finding new smells and new things, and watching squirrels and birds. And he'll chase a squirrel across my fence behind me all day long, like just back and forth, and it's funny to watch. So and the other fun thing about Ace is he watches TV. My other 3 dogs could care less about TV, but he sits right there and pays attention to the sights and the sounds. And if he hears a dog or another animal on TV, he's right up there watching it. So he's just a fun pup. Great disposition, no food or resource guarding, sits there quietly because he finishes his food, and then he sits there and watches the others eat and just waits. And then when he's done, he licks everybody's bowl until like it's spotless. So just a fun pup.
It sounds absolutely adorable. So since having Ace, and obviously, like I mentioned earlier, that we have met Ace before, how
Yes.
has he changed?
So he's, I think he's become more sure of himself around other dogs. He doesn't have to get quite so, I don't know what the word is. It's not agitated, and he does not get agitated, but it's, when he's around other dogs now, he's learning how to meet them and how to be more respectful of space, which is good. And he's also, he's learning and has learned when it's dinner time, that he comes in the kitchen, he sits and he waits, and he does not jump, and he just sits down on the floor with the other dogs, and he waits for his turn for his bowl, and then he eats. So we're learning our manners. Like I said, we've got the house training thing nailed down, which is great. And he's learning where he can and cannot go in the house, and he's also learning how to at night settle in very quickly. If I tell him lay down, it's time to go to bed, he does. I do not crate him. My other dogs are not crated, so they all sleep wherever they sleep, and he'll usually snuggle up with one of the other pups.
That sounds really cute. How is he doing with his training? Any new tricks or anything?
So he's doing really well. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is posting a video of his training when the trainer is with him, working with him, so that people can see. He's very food motivated. And so, which makes it very easy, or easier, I should say, to train. and he sit. You gotta sit for your treat. So he's learning, good boy. So he's working on his commands, which will give folks just give him a little bit more discipline, so that people can feel comfortable with being with him. He's not a particularly big dog. I don't know that he's going to get too much bigger. He's about 10 months now, but he's got a beautiful coat. He's very healthy, loves to run around. So he's doing really well. He's just maturing and learning not to be so afraid of the sounds in the neighborhood and the people, like big trucks and buses. And we're learning how to navigate just going by a trash truck and that kind of thing.
That sounds great. What do you think would be an ideal forever home for him?
So Ace needs to have either an active person who wants to, take him on walks and hike and take him to, wherever with them, get him outside and enjoy the sights and sounds. Or he needs to be in a household with another dog, just another pet. He loves to be around other animals, and he does not have separation anxiety. And so, being around, having another animal in the house, another dog or someone to entertain him, I think is probably his forever home. Like I said, either a person or another animal.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with us about Ace?
Not just that he's a happy dog. It's hard to explain sometimes, there's nothing unhappy or sad about him. He's just a happy dog, and he's just enjoying himself, and and will come up on the couch with you at night sometimes and just lay down near you just to be near you. But he's just a happy dog, and he's not constantly underfoot, which is great. He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't have separation anxiety. And while he will follow you around because he thinks you may have a treat, he's not, he doesn't require your constant attention if you work from home.
Well, thank you so much, Celeste, and thank you, Ace. You can find more information about Ace at cdck.cc/adoptace. And thank you again.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Kyle, who is being fostered by Kate. Kyle is a male blue tick coonhound who is 2 years old and weighs 35 pounds. So Kate, what can you tell us about Kyle?
Yeah, so here's Kyle. Kyle is just the sweetest pup. He has just such a gentle temperament. And we really call him the baby a lot, because once you lay down with him and start loving on him, he just wants to be cradled and loved and kissed. But he's just the sweetest guy. He loves going on walks and getting all the sniffs. I have a hound as well who's 10, and we have some very active foxes around. So fox hunt is definitely a very popular game here right now. But he loves going out on his walks. And he's playful. He plays with my dog and other neighborhood dogs. He plays with us, but he's a really chill guy. Right. And see, now he's going into baby mode. I won't do all the kisses because I'm on camera, but if I wasn't on camera, he would be getting lots of kisses.
Yeah, so how is Kyle doing with his foster sister?
So Kyle is my family's 22nd city dog foster, and it is the first foster in a couple of years that she has agreeably played with. Twiggy's 10 now, and she says he's great. And it might be because he's a little bit smaller than Twiggy. They're built similarly, but he still has some weight to gain. But she plays with him a couple of times a day, and our dog is a really good barometer of what other dogs are working with. She says that she trusts him near food. She pretty quickly was coming in our kitchen, whereas often she'll avoid it for a while with fosters until she figures out if they resource guard. But she says he does not resource guard, and I haven't seen it. They drink out of water bowls together. She does like playing fox hunt with him as well. And they wrestle. So she says he's great. A++ from Twiggy, which is super rare for her to give that score.
That sounds great. How has Kyle been adjusting to your home?
So to our home, he's great. Kyle is nervous with new humans. Unfortunately, some humans have given him the impression that not all humans are to be trusted. And so he's working on it, but he very much trusts the humans in my home. In my home, we have myself, my husband, my 15-year-old daughter, and my 12-year-old son. And he trusts us all a ton. Lots of belly ups, not like horribly submissive belly ups, just like I'm a snuggly baby belly up. But he trusts us all. When I've had kids in, my friends' kids in, he's done well. When my mom's come in, it took him like half an hour to trust her. And then he was asking her for pets. So he loves his humans. And once he gets to know humans, he really loves them. He just needs some time and some space to make sure that he can trust them. And he needs his human to help like advocate for him so that he gets the time and space he needs to feel safe. But he's doing really well. Like we've had him 3 weeks and I see huge changes just on walks. At first, he would see a person from 50 feet away and want to flee. And now we can pass people, no problem. And what he does is he loops behind them and tries to sniff them because he's curious. He's a brave guy and he wants to learn to trust all humans, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah,
I
of
knew he
course.
was asking for kisses. But yes, he very much loves his humans. And he was with another foster this past weekend. We were out of town and he quickly loved and trusted them as well. It just takes him a little bit to make sure he's safe.
Yeah, of course. All right. So what is
Yeah, he's a baby. Hey, what's up? What's the next question?
what is Kyle's favorite thing to do?
This, yeah, with more kisses and full body snuggles. He recently got access to our bed. We don't let fosters onto our bed. My husband's in my bed until Twiggy says so, because that's kind of like her sanctuary. And Twiggy, because she likes him, she's invited him up, and now he can do like full body snuggles with multiple family members at once. And I think that's a new high point for him, that he can do lots of snuggles. Yeah, and then sniffy adventure walks. Like he's a hound. He likes being out, checking stuff out, sniffing stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And meeting other dogs. He likes dogs a lot. Yeah. He's just like, this is like totally, I mean, it's not like he's like this all the time, but this is like totally baby Kyle.
He looks so adorable. What do you think his forever home would look like?
I think that he needs, like the main thing he needs is somebody who's going to be patient with him as he kind of learns to trust all humans again. Scales are tipping in humanity's favor, and that he's thinking that most humans are trustworthy now instead of most humans not being trustworthy. And so we just need somebody patient who can kind of read him and help him understand, and understand him, so that he feels supported as he's figuring this out. So probably not the busiest area, because if he's encountering humans close up constantly, he might struggle with that. In terms of who's in the household, like he wants access to dogs. I don't know that he has to live with the dog. He is more confident with another dog in the house, but I walk him by himself often and he does just fine. Yeah, somebody who's gonna give him lots of snuggles, right? What else is on your list? He says just love. Lots of love. Yeah, and patience, just while he's working on it.
Great. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share about Kyle?
Anything else, Kyle? He's real cute. Now he can hear the lawnmower outside, so he's not so sure about that. There's his face. He's got really nice houndy ears, and his coat is super soft. My hound is not soft, and he is very soft with these silky ears. Everyone stops and says how handsome he is. He's got really nice markings. What else about you, Kyle? Just super gentle, and he communicates well with other dogs, which is why Twiggy likes him. Yeah, That's about it. He's a great guy. Mhm.
Well, thank you, Kate and Kyle. So you can find more information about Kyle at cdck.cc/adoptkyle. So last but not least, we have Harper, who is being fostered by Sheila. So Harper is a male Chihuahua mix who is 5 years old and 12 pounds. So Sheila, can you tell us about Harper?
I can. Can you see me? Oops.
No, your camera is still off.
Okay. I think they may have a certain dog may have switched it off. Hold on. Okay, ready? There we go. There we go. Yeah, we went to get his brother, and Bosley decided that he would walk on the computer. But this is Harper, who, yes, is 5 years old and 12 pounds, and just the perfect little boy.
So what is his personality like?
He is, I know, he is an absolute love bug. He loves nothing more than snuggles. He's still a little, I wouldn't say nervous, but he's still just a little, like if I go towards him standing up, he goes straight down into his little submissive position. But we think that's probably due to the fact that they were neglected for a little while and possibly abused. We don't know that. But if I go to him and I go down, he just comes up, he wants snuggles. And now, since I had his brother arrive on Friday, his brother is exactly the same. But just the most loving, loyal, sweet little guy you ever want.
They like you?
So yes. Yeah, you see, he's perfectly happy now because he's on my lap. When people come to visit, the first thing he wants to do, I mean, he looks, he's like, I don't know about you, I'm not sure. And then as soon as, I mean, it doesn't take him long. And as soon as he's warmed up to them, that's it. He's on their lap and he's getting his snuggles in. Yeah.
Yeah, so
He's kind of happy that his brother's here.
Okay, I gotta go do dishes.
Yeah. Bosley came in on Friday. And the reunion between them was just, I mean, it just brought tears to your eyes. It was heart melting. And so I'll see if I can get Bosley up here in a bit. Bosley is still, because he only arrived on Friday, he's still like, don't know. But he definitely takes his cues from Harper. They feed off each other for confidence. Harper with me and my two. He's great with every other dog. I mean, they're wonderful with other dogs, of any shape and size. When I first got Harper, he was scared on the walks until he realized, oh, my friends are here. And now, as long as he's with another dog, as long as he's with my dogs, he's like, yeah, I like this. And Bosley is the same. So, you know, they probably should be adopted together. They're definitely bonded. But, you know, he's been great with me. I've had him 3 weeks and he's been great with my dogs. So I think it depends on the house. They both need another dog to get their confidence from. But this one has done really well with mine. So I think both of them would be okay as long as it wasn't adopted with another dog that they really trust and that can help them with their confidence. Bosley's coming soon. He's coming. He's like, you're talking to somebody. Yeah. So if you've met Harper, you've kind of basically met Bosley. They are peas in a pod. The difference, let me see if I can switch it so you can see Harper. Now he's going to run away. You just saw him go there. Bosley has got more of a terrier mix in him, so his fur is a little longer. And his face is more terrier face. But other than that, they have the same ears, they have the same shape, they're the same size, they have the same tail. I mean, they're just like twins.
What is it like for Harper?
Say that again.
What does a perfect day look like for Harper?
A perfect day is when he can stay on somebody's lap. He just likes to be around me. He likes to be around people. So his perfect day, he does love being out in the garden. So he loves it if he can go out and sniff in the garden. He's just he's a people dog. So his perfect day would be get up and eat. I mean, he eats like a little pig. He loves his food. And then it would be time in the garden, and then time sitting on my lap, and then a walk with the other dogs. And I think he'd be just happy if that could be all day, every day.
Sounds great. Do you think Harper needs to be in a quiet area?
I think I don't know how he'd do with a lot of noise. He did go for a couple of days. He went to a temporary foster and was very nervous. But I think that was probably because he was the only dog. So when I walk around my neighborhood, it's reasonably quiet. And he's not scared by anything. So I think he'd be okay. He just does need another dog to, and remind him that, yeah, I'm okay. But yeah, the noise of the neighborhood doesn't seem to bother him at all. On walks, we can go past other dogs and people, and he's fine. So yeah, I think he'd get used to it as long as he's got that security blanket and another dog.
Yeah, you touched up a little on this, but how does Harper do on walks?
He does really well now. Yeah, it was just the first couple of evenings that I had him. I don't think he was that used to having a harness put on him and a leash. So he was like, I don't know what's happening here. And then, as I say, he comes with my dogs, and it only took him a couple of walks, and he's like, oh, this is fun. So he just keeps up with my two. And so I have my two little ones as well, about the same size. And so the three of them just walk together. And the other night we took Bosley out with us, and he did the same. He's like, oh, this is fun. So he does really well. He doesn't really pull. He loves to sniff. He loves to check out all the local females. But yeah, he's really pretty good on leash. He's good to, when I call him, he comes right in. So when I got home tonight, as you know, I just got home, and I thought, well, I have to let them out so they can go do a pee. And then I called him in. He comes straight in. As soon as you call him, he comes straight in. He's a good little boy.
So that sounds great. What do you think his ideal forever home would look like?
I think his ideal home, he does love the garden. He would love a space where he can just go outside. It doesn't have to be big, but I think he would love a space where he can go and explore. He, as I say, he either needs to go with Bosley or he needs another dog. He's fine with cats. I think really, as long as he feels loved and safe and secure, his perfect home would be whoever is going to love him. That's all he wants. He just wants loving. And the confidence side of it, as I say, I'm seeing a big difference in him, and I'm starting to see a big difference coming with Bosley, because they're feeling safe now. So yeah, his ideal home would be somewhere where he's loved to pieces. He gets snuggles when he needs them, preferably with a garden, even if it's small. Yeah, and a sibling. For a sibling. I don't think he'd be great with young kids. I think he'd be wonderful with older kids. You can see, if it was an older child, especially like teenager who just wants a snuggle dog, to make sure everything in life is okay, he'd be perfect. I don't know. I mean, he wouldn't bite. He's never, I mean, he doesn't show any sign of aggression at all. I think young kids might be a bit too much for him energy wise. I think he might get a little nervous and scared around them. So I think he would be better if he goes to a home with kids. It would need to be slightly older kids. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about Harper?
Well, other than the fact we have not found anything he doesn't like to eat yet. He likes absolutely everything. That's another thing that's helping really well with, getting him to come when he's cold, because all I have to do is rattle a treat bag and he's right there. I mean, he's there like a lightning bolt. But yeah, I mean, you can see he's just very chill. He's a super relaxed guy. I'm going to see if I can put him down and get his brother. Hold on, let me see if I can do that. Here, Bosley. There we go. So this is Bosley. So you can see. Oh, hi, baby. Very similar. It just took him. Yes, I love you too. Took him a couple of days because, moving from place to place with these little dogs it's tough. It would be tough for us. It's tough for the animals. But as of yesterday, he came to me on Friday night, and as of yesterday, he's like, okay, this is good. And you can see he is turning. I mean, he and Harper are just the most affectionate, loving little dogs you ever want to come across. So, yeah. But you can see the ears are the same. One ear up, one ear down. But Bosley has a little bit of fluff around him. He's a little longer haired. Yeah.
How do either of them, whether it's Bosley or Harper, how do they behave around men?
I have not seen them around men yet. When we go past men on our walks, they're fine. But I can't really address that because I haven't had a male in the house. So I don't really know. I would imagine from what I know of them so far, as long as they realize that, to begin with, you have to gain their trust. And especially, if it was a tall male, they would have to realize, what, this is going to intimidate them, just me walking over to them. So I think they would need to understand that these little guys, as I say, we don't fully know their background. We know they were loved to pieces by their owner, but their owner died. And then we know they were left. Basically, one of the family had promised to look after them and really didn't. They were neglected. They just kind of had food thrown at them a couple of times a week. And I have a feeling they weren't exactly treated kindly. So I think with anybody, but I think maybe especially men, they just would need to understand, these dogs need a little time. But I think once they've attached, they're going to be so loyal. So you don't know which one this is, do you? Say, which one am I? So this is back to Harper. Yeah. I'd love to get them both together, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Sheila and Harper. You can find more information at cdck.cc/adoptharper. All right, so that's the end of the event, everyone. Thank you to our amazing fosters and everyone who took time out of their evening to join us. If you're interested in any of these dogs or any of our other wonderful adoptable dogs, please visit our website to learn more. We're also always looking for more people to foster, and if you can't adopt right now, even spreading the word about these cuties will make a huge difference. Again, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Say bye.